video I wanted to talk about the story with the violin slash fiddle. And I'm sure there's no need to explain the difference between a violin and a fiddle, but I will real quickly. They're the same instrument, exactly. But when you talk about a violin, mostly people are talking about the type of music that it is. Violins are used in orchestra, beautiful listening music. And the fiddle, when you talk about a fiddle, the music is a different type and a different style. Normally, fiddle music makes you want to tap your toes and dance. And it came out very popular in the I want to say Appalachian Mountain, but I guess everybody calls it Appalachia. Appalachia. I don't know. Anyway, so it was used for entertainment, for dancing, and a lot of waltzes and what they call hoedown. So my story with the fiddle goes like this. My folks, as you may know from previous videos, are not from California. They and their generation, a lot of them moved to Central California, coming from the states like Oklahoma, Texas, Arkansas, in what they call the Dust Bowl time. Consequently, when a group of people come from one culture to another, as my folks came from the Oklahoma or Okie culture. My mom doesn't like to be called Okie. She said she thought it was, well, it was used as a derogatory term when she was a kid, but nowadays people just, if you're from Oklahoma, you're an Okie. Merle Haggard, I'm an Okie from Muskogee. And people from Arkansas were Arkies, Texans. So they have a certain culture, a certain music, type of food, thinking, talking, expression. So all that came to Central California. And that's where I was born. Well, naturally I'm going to have the taste and the culture that was part of my inheritance. So I like music from Texas, Tex-Mex. I like music from Oklahoma, and in the valley, San Joaquin Valley, where I'm from, a place called Bakersfield is a real hotbed of country music. Merle Haggard, Buck Owens. So I won't bore you with all the names. But anyway, the point is this. In our living room as a child, we had a lot of social events. People would come over, bring their instruments, and we would have a so-called jam session in the living room. It was very, very enjoyable. My mom could play the guitar, the fiddle, any stringed instrument, mandolin. So she played those. In high school, like a lot of the kids in the 60s when the Beatles came, we all took up guitar, Elvis, Beatles. So I naturally gravitated to the guitar, and I played in these jam sessions the guitar, and then our neighbors and friends would bring their steel guitar uh, different instruments. Mom had, even though she didn't really play the piano, she had a piano in the living room for people that came over that played the piano. So we had a hootin' time, as we call shucking and a jiving, picking and a grinning, and it was just, every time I hear that music, it gives me a shot of dopamine and makes me feel good. So when I got here to the Philippines, and there was a video, I don't think it's on this new channel, but there was an opportunity for me to buy a guitar, which I did, and I practiced, and I played, and I enjoyed myself playing the guitar. Well, for some reason, I heard some fiddle music, and this may seem strange to some, but the official title of this style of music is old-time fiddle music. Old-time fiddle. I worked for a guy who used to call it old-timey fiddling music. And every time you heard it, oh boy, you just get all excited and dancing, tapping your toes and getting up and doing a jig, and it just made you feel good. So I said to myself, I'm going to bring back my love of the fiddle. Now, I'm going to go back a little ways to tell you how I started with the fiddle. There came a time, and my mom played the fiddle, when my mom had an extra violin, and she asked me if I would like it. I said, oh yeah. So there was a group in our town called, what was it? Well, it was the Old Time Fiddlers Club. That was hard to figure out. Old Time Fiddlers Club. And it belonged to a national organization, Old Time Fiddlers Association. So I went and met the local fellow there, Harry Dunn. The reason I got mixed up because Dunn is an old English word meaning brown, D-U-N-N. If you ever heard of a dun horse, that means a brown horse. But anyway, so I said, Harry, and he was an older man, early 80s, and I said, I'd like to learn to play the fiddle because I've been raised on old-time country music, fiddle music, and I'd like to learn. He said, oh, great. He said, you got a fiddle? I said, yeah. I said, I got a fiddle and a guitar. And he said, I noticed that his face kind of like inside, he made a little click or something. Oh, you play guitar? Yeah, I play the guitar. I back up my mom and others playing in our jam sessions. Bring your guitar over. So I thought, okay. So I brought my guitar over, and they had weekly meetings or get-togethers, and these fiddlers would all come over. There'd be half a dozen of them, and I was the only one with a guitar. And he said, now these songs are in D or C, A, G, whatever. Okay, because I was familiar with guitar chords. So I played them. Oh man, everybody had a good time, and it was just very enjoyable. So weeks went by, and finally I said, Harry, I wanted to learn to play the fiddle. He said, well, now this is your foundation. Fiddle music, you just don't see it on sheet music. You have to memorize it. So by hearing these songs over and over every week, you'll have the tunes in your head. That way you'll be able to play the fiddle, just from memory. I mean, you have to learn how to play the fiddle, but you'll know the tunes already. Okay. So I continued to back everybody up with my guitar, and one thing I'll never forget, we used to play, when I played at home, we would play what they call a pluck, strum, a strum. Pluck, strum, a strum. Pluck, strum, a strum. And Harry would say, stop that scraping. Stop that scraping. Just go pluck, strum, pluck, strum, pluck, strum. Okay, Harry. So all the fiddle songs, pluck, strum, pluck, strum. Do you know how long that I felt, or how do I put this, that I put up with playing backup guitar for these fiddle players? 2 years. 2 years. Finally, as what I've said in a lot of my other videos, sometimes you find yourself walking down a path that you don't want to be on. I'm here, I'm walking that way, but actually I wanted to be walking this way. But because of pressure or, you know, habit or whatever, you're still walking the way that you don't want to go. So finally I made the decision. I happened to run on to Harry, and I said, Harry, I don't know if I'm going to be coming to the jam sessions anymore. How come? We really enjoy your guitar playing. I said, well, that's the point. Originally, I joined the Old Time Fiddlers Club to learn to play the fiddle. But I've been playing the guitar for 2 years. He said, well, a guitar player is what really makes or breaks a fiddle tune. You know, you got to have a good backup. So I said, I thought to myself, you're not understanding what I'm saying, Harry. I want to play the fiddle. So I said, well, I'm not going to be able to make it. I wish you the best. And then I didn't go anymore. So one day I said to myself, what is the matter with me? My mom plays a fiddle. When she was a little girl, she won, you know, contests and old-time fiddle playing. So I said, Mom, would you teach me to play the fiddle? She said, yeah, sure. I was wondering why you didn't ask me. So she did teach me a few tunes, and she could play the guitar, so she backed me up, and she was happy to, and I miss her. So I did learn to play the fiddle, but I was just beginning. Now that I have some time to play, I'm going to try to sharpen up my fiddle tunes and my fiddle practice and my fiddle ability. So I can play some basic things, but I got this new fiddle, and I never had to put together a fiddle. I mean, there's a wooden bridge that holds the strings, and it wasn't on there. It came, but you have to put it on, set it up, and then you have to tune the violin. There's pegs that you tune it with, which are very rough tuning, and then they, towards the end, towards the tailpiece, they have these little screws that fine tune it. So that's taken me a while, because when you have a new stringed instrument, guitar or fiddle or mandolin, whatever, it takes time for the new strings to stretch. So they'll stretch a little bit, and then eventually they'll stop stretching. You don't have to keep tuning it every time. So that's the story with my fiddle, and I hope to be able to entertain myself and all the cats and dogs around here with my fiddle playing. So thanks for watching. Thanks for coming to my channel, and I appreciate all your comments. And see you next time. Bye-bye.